Your success is not up to chance. And I know that is a bold statement. And even hearing that, your success is not up to chance, you don't really know how to feel. It's like, okay, I'll listen to this guy, I guess, right? But let me explain why. In the most fundamental, concise way possible. Here we go, okay? Everything is energy. Everything is energy. This is what Einstein in physics says. Everything is energy. But what does this mean? Like, how do we use this for ourselves? What does this mean for us and our desires? Okay? That's what you're thinking. What does this mean for me and my desires? Well, Einstein also said, match the frequency of the reality, and you can't help but get that reality. It can be no other way. Match the frequency. So think about that. It can be no other way. Just like you turn the dial of the radio to get on a different frequency, and you have a different radio experience. He says it can be no other way. We use that all the time, right? We turn the radio dial and we experience a different radio station with different music, different group of people, different vibe on there, different vibration. Match the frequency of the reality and you cannot help but get that reality. So the big question becomes then, how do we match the frequency? If Einstein says that this is a law, that it can be no other way, this is just how things work, how do we match the frequency? That's the big question then. If everything is energy, we can understand that feeling is energy moving around. When we feel things, that's energy moving. And that's not too difficult to understand. When we feel excitement, there's a lighter feeling to it. There's an excitement, there's a playfulness about it. That's energy moving. Energy moving in the other direction, when we feel fear, that's very heavy. That's very dreadful. So excitement, playful, light, fear, heavy, and dreadful. So we can understand how when we feel different things, we feel this energy moving around. Emotion, energy in motion, energy moving. So by becoming aware of this, could it be possible then, with what Einstein's saying here, is that we could feel to match the frequency? Could we use our radio here to feel to match the frequency, to turn the dial and match the frequency? Could we feel to move the energy? That's essentially what he's saying here. Matching the frequency. So in other words, could we feel ourselves to be that person now? Could we feel ourselves to be in that desired situation, that desired reality right now? And the answer is yes. We can do that because we can use conscious thoughts to have a picture in our mind, and we can match that with the emotions and the experience related to that in our minds. And it's commonly heard too that the mind doesn't know the difference between what's happening in here and what's happening out here. So we can create this experience, we can get on the frequency in here, and over time attract that experience towards us. So the answer is yes here. We can feel ourselves to be that person now. And in this way, this is what Einstein's referring to. Matching the frequency of the reality, and you cannot help but get that reality. Okay? So how do we do this here? How do we feel ourselves to be in that desired situation? I talked about that a little bit with this right here, right? How do we move locations in this energetic soup? And the thing with this, the main pieces to this, on how you're going to do this, is with your attention and with your persistence. We are being trained right now to get bored after 2 seconds on social media. Okay, on social media, it's 2 seconds to grab someone's attention and then they're gone. That's the average, right? So with this, you need your attention, you need your focus, you need your persistence. You need to treat your mind like it's your workspace. And you got to keep this thing organized, clear, and open. When everything is trying to grab your attention and take you away from clarity, you got to keep this organized and your workspace clean up here. Okay? So at whatever time of day, you can go in here and you can create clear pictures in your mind. You can create that experience in your mind and remind yourself on this desired reality and live in that desired reality at any point in your day and feel yourself to be that person. And if this stuff sounds new to you and you've never put this into practice before, then like anything else, for the first time, it will feel weird. It'll feel weird when we talk about matching the frequency. There's a lot of ambiguity with that, right? Matching the frequency. Could we feel ourselves to be that person now? There's ambiguity there. It will feel weird for the first time. And it will feel like this muscle that's been long atrophied, that you're building up that muscle again. That feeling muscle, that visualization muscle, okay? It will feel like a muscle that's been long atrophied. But like I said, only through your focused attention will you be able to see this for yourself. And only through your persistence will you experience this shift. You need to treat this like an experiment for yourself, where you put this into practice. You put this desired reality into practice for yourself, and you experience that shift that comes with it over time. So like Einstein said, you match the frequency and you have to get that reality. It can be no other way. To match the frequency, you feel yourself to be that person now. And you feel yourself to be that person now by having this like your workspace, like your radio dial. And you keep that desired reality in mind. You practice building that muscle of feeling yourself to be that person now. And you begin to attract that reality towards you. Einstein said it could be no other way.